Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Decorators of Time. I am your host, Berserk, and it is just me this week. Theory is on vacation. He is out on the east on the beach. I believe they're in North Carolina right now. So hats off to Theory. You deserve it, brother. Enjoy yourself. I'm going to hold down the podcast while you are gone. But welcome back to episode 2. Can't believe we made it here. And I was sitting here wondering to myself, God, we got to do an episode every Wednesday, and I got to honor that commitment. So what the hell am I even going to talk about? It's hard to sit here and just talk to nobody in the studio. And then I thought, well, the best thing that I could do is give you guys some funny stories. So we'll start with story number 1. So this one takes place when I was about 6-7 years old. And I had just gotten my first skateboard. I was really big into skateboarding. That was around the time that like Bam Margera and all that stuff was starting to come out, and Tony Hawk was a big thing. Him landing the 900, insane, had to be there. All kinds of skate culture was just taking over, and I happened to be caught in the wave of it. And I got my first skateboard. Christmas. I believe it was Christmas. It was not an expensive skateboard whatsoever. It was a cheap Walmart board. Nothing against you, Walmart, but skateboarders know what I'm talking about. But I got my first skateboard, and it was something to ride, and it got me excited and got me into it. But the only problem was that I got it on Christmas. So it's snowing outside, it's cold. There's ice everywhere, and it's not really the most ample opportunity to ride a skateboard. So I'm waiting all the rest of winter to wrap up so that I can get on this thing, and then finally spring comes. And what comes with spring is being able to wear comfortable clothes again. That's a huge highlight of spring. So back into shorts and back into short sleeve shirts, ready to go outside, ready to be on the skateboard. Well, one particular day, I'm riding my skateboard in the cul-de-sac that we lived in, and I saw some kids down the street. Granted, they were not a little bit, but a lot older than me. They looked to be, at least from what I can remember at 6 years old, that they had to have been 15, 16 years old, to the best of my recollection. Well, they're down the street, and they have what we called a fun box set up in the middle of the street. It's like this wood box that has 2 metal rails on each side, and it's set up that way for skaters to ollie on and to grind and do whatever on. And I saw it, and I was like, oh, snap. Had the skateboard, saw the fun box down the street, and thought to myself, this is destiny. So I run inside, and I ask my older sister, who was babysitting at the time, if I could go down the street and join these kids on this fun box with my skateboard. She said yes, but I had to change my clothes. Apparently what I was wearing was dirty, or before I went out to be in front of other people like that, or going to somebody's house, I don't know. She was young. That was her decision. So I had to change my clothes. So I ran upstairs to my bedroom and changed as fast as I could. And all I had were my little brother's clothes sitting there, smaller than me. So I threw on his shorts, and I threw on his shirt. Everything was tight, even at that young age. And I get my skateboard, and I ride it down the street to where that fun box is. And at first they're a little bit taken back by me because I'm a young kid just walking up, and they're teenagers, and so there's always that awkward moment when you meet. But I think quickly that they saw that, my eyes were lighting up at the fun box that they were playing on, and I asked them if I could join them and skate with them. And they said, yeah, sure. And I didn't do it right away. Not right away at all. Because it's a fun box, and I don't even know how to ollie. So here I am thinking that without wings, I'm going to take off and just fly. But I was excited. But for the first few minutes or so, I sat back and watched them, and they were busting their ass. They were falling left and right, but they were also doing some pretty cool shit. Like one or two of them was really good. That I can remember. So I sat there and watched. And eventually they're like, "Are you going to give it a try?" And I was like, yeah, I guess so. Because I didn't realize at the time when I saw the fun box down the street at my house that, oh snap, this means that I've got to try and do something in front of people. When you're that young, you haven't processed that far into the future. That, oh wait, this is kind of weird. They're watching me. What if I mess up? So I let them go on for a little bit more, and then finally they were like, "Dude, if you're not gonna use the fun box, then what are you down here for?" You know, I guess just trying to find a way to encourage me to do so. But they were also teenagers, so I think they were encouraging me, but they're also kind of waiting to see what happened, and I can't fault them for that. So finally I get the courage. And I'm riding around on the skateboard around it. I'm kind of like just lifting up the tail end of it as I'm going around it. And then finally I decide that I'm going to get some speed and I'm going to try and ollie onto this thing and do what, I don't know, whether it was going to be ride across it, whether it was going to be grind on the rails. I have no idea what was going to happen, but I knew that I was going to try and do something. So I grab the skateboard and I back up and I get a start. I step all the way back. And then I'm going and I'm going and I'm going. Mind you, as I mentioned before, I had on my little brother's clothes. This will make sense in a minute. So I'm riding, and I get up to the ramp. I kick back on the back of the board, and the board comes out from underneath my left leg, and only my right leg is on it. And so my right leg plants the board on top of the box and my left leg is still down on the ground. So I'm kind of doing a Captain Morgan with the board up there. And everybody starts laughing, but they're not just they're laughing really, really hard. And I couldn't process what they were laughing at. So I went and tried again. I took my board, backed it up, and tried as I might to get my left foot to follow my skateboard onto the fun box. It didn't. I kept on doing that Captain Morgan stance where I would slam the board on top and I'd pause and again, bursting with laughter from these teenagers. It wasn't until the third time that I got my start and I did the thing again. Board comes out again from the left foot. I slam my right leg on the board on top. And now they're wheezing with laughter. And I don't understand, like, I could understand if I had fell, if I had tumbled, but it was just the same thing. It wasn't much happening to it. I was just riding up, clicking, boom. And I would plant and be like, oh, I got to find a way to go with the board. But on that third time, I happened to look down and my balls fell out the left side of the shorts. We'll be right back after this. This episode has been brought to you by Crash Landing, the newest album from my partner in rhyme and co-podcast host, Theory. It dropped this summer. It came out on a pre-release for pre-order, and then it dropped on streaming platforms everywhere. So Crash Landing, go listen to that. It has an amazing story. It has amazing featured artists and even more amazing production by Trill Phil. Who else is on it? It's me. It's Cam Crowns. It's the ROC. Go listen to it. Enjoy. Crash Landing. Yeah. Now that we have surpassed that childhood trauma story of sorts, I'd like to get on to another story. This one is a lot more recent. This one is about my past visit to the gathering of the Juggalos. Yes. So, let's start from the beginning. Last year, I got inboxed from a friend of mine named K7. He is the lead guitarist / frontman of a band called the K7 Army. we have a few featured songs together, and he got invited, him and his band, to perform The Gathering last year on the iconic stage. He hit me up and he said, would you like to join us and perform the songs that we have together? Yes, of course I would. So he says, every Thursday we meet up for rehearsals. Come over to the rehearsal space and we'll rehearse the songs. So about 3 or 4 weeks leading out until the performance, that's what I did. We showed up to the performance space, rehearsed, went over timings, all the sorts. They had all kinds of things planned because it's a once-a-year event and it's a huge deal to be able to perform it, and it's an even bigger deal as an independent artist to perform on one of the bigger stages. And I got to be a part of that, which is exciting, and I was so down for. So we get ready. We got all the theatrics set up, all the lights, all the glitz and glamour that we're going to do, the way that we're going to, all these things. We load up like a road crew and put everything in the trailer the day before. We ride down. We stay at a Best Hampton Inn the night before, and my head's just spinning with everything that's to come because in my early teenage years, I was bit by the ICP bug, as a lot of youth was. I'm still a longtime fan, still a big fan, and heavily influenced by as well with my music. But I get to perform it, and this was like it's a milestone, 100%. So the next day, we wake up, we get breakfast, and then we head to the campground or the resort that they're having it at. I believe it was in Illinois this past year, or Indiana, right in that area, somewhere in the northern Midwestern region. And so we get there, and it just looks like obviously it looks like a festival, but it's so colorful, and people are just, they're all wearing the same brand, but they're not wearing the same thing. Everybody looks completely unique and is big and loud with color and life, and everybody's smiling, and it just excites you when you get to the gates there. So we pull up in professional as hell. As soon as we get there, people with gathering polos on and walkie-talkies and ear sets are like, hey, who are you? Come this way, follow us. You're going to follow this guy. Come to this booth here. You're going to get your passes. And guess what? Here's a free chain. Here's a free pamphlet booklet on us and a wristband, all this stuff. Here you go. Welcome to the gathering. Let me show you to your green room /tent. So we drive escorted across the campground. And then we get to the green room area, and because it's an outdoor festival, the green room is just a tent that's outside, but it's still servicing as a green room. Anything that you guys need, let us know. This is where you hang out, do whatever you got to do. And then finally, the moment comes. Me, a fellow artist named Be Good, goes by Be Good the Artist, Spaz the Villain. He's got so many AKAs. And the K7 Army Band. We hit the stage and we rock it. Oh, we totally rock it. And to get embraced with that love from them, because it's a tough crowd. If the Juggalos don't like you, they will let you know. And we got nothing but roars, hands up, family, chants, whoop, whoop, all that. I felt like master of ceremony. I hit the stage and I could do no wrong. And they gave me that love. So thank you to the Juggalos for that. So we get done with the set. I'm riding cloud 9 because I just rocked the gathering of the Juggalos for the first time in my life. Who knows if I'll ever get to come back. And then right after our set, there was one more artist, and then they had the wet t-shirt contest. Now, this was interesting. It was interesting because the contestants were of all walks of life and shapes and sizes and age, and I think even gender in some cases. But it was hosted by one of the artists that's with Psychopathic Records, DJ Clay, and Clownvis Presley, who I actually got to meet. And while we were there, waiting for the sets of the night to finish, we were bystanders to this wet t-shirt contest. And it was a tough contest, very tough contest. And it was told, it was judged by the crowd's cheers and roars. The winner ended up being like a 95-year-old lady who came there with her daughter. So God bless that lady. You deserve that W. You deserve that crown. I thought you deserved it. Everybody there at the festival thought you deserved it too. To the people that were at the festival, this is old news, but if you weren't there last year, this is what happened. Look it up. I tell no lies. But we'll be right back after this. This episode has been brought to you by my latest project, OUR. It dropped last year on the 4th of July. This month marks the 1-year anniversary since its release. Be sure to go check that out. It's on all streaming platforms. OUR stands for Once Upon a Rhyme. It has a story that follows alongside the album, much like Theory's album, Crash Landing, double plug. Y'all didn't expect that. But yes, go stream OUR on all streaming platforms, and let's get back to the episode. So, I would now like to take this time to thank you all for tuning in to the second episode of the Decorators of Time, the DOT, the dot for short. It means the world to Theory and I speak for him on his behalf while he's out of town enjoying himself right now. He deserves it. Thank you so much. If you haven't seen already, if you're not following us on Instagram or on TikTok or wherever you see the Decorators of Time on Instagram, on our 4th post, we went viral for the simple, off of a clip from the first episode. As of this airing right now, or not the airing, but as of this recording, it's at like 500,000 views and so many shares and so many likes and so many comments. You guys are the realest. Thank you. I do believe Theory and I have plans that on an upcoming episode, since it was such a monumental, huge clip for us that drew some attention to what we're doing, we want to read off the best comments from that post. So if you're seeing this now, make your way back to that post and throw in your best responses to that clip. Once Theory is back from out of town, I believe we will read those on the next upcoming episode, if not the episode after that. But thank you so much again for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the story of my skateboarding exposure. And I hope you enjoyed the story of my experience at the gathering of the Juggalos. Thank you all. We love you. Like, subscribe, share if you're a real one. And that's it for the Decorators of Time. Until next time.
You know, we the life of the party, and you know, we about to get it started.